these events, these apparent shootings. And but Sandy Hook is the one that is really overarching, I think, in many people's minds. Now, whether or not the event took place, it was something that, as with 9/11. 9/11 is an event that, as far as I'm concerned, did take place, and that was taken advantage of to push certain types of agendas. Total war against the people of the Middle East, and a police state at home. And you could say the same thing, I think, about Oklahoma City in terms of derailing the Patriot movement, and also setting the groundwork for the stealing civil liberties that were further curtailed in the wake of 9/11. So I don't really think that we have a great cause to trust certain elements of the government in this regard, and that's why we really have to look at these events more critically and study them and analyze them. That's not to say that we should, in a sort of knee-jerk response, come out every time that there's one of these events and say, "Oh, it was a hoax, it was staged, yada yada yada." But just look at them more critically, because the way I see it, there's an attempt here, an increasing attempt, and it's a lot easier now with television. It's not necessarily anything new. There's an attempt to mold our reality, to mold history, and to do this for the purposes of social control and taking away more and more of our freedoms and our liberties. And that's really very, very serious. 12 or 15 years ago, I think that most people would have been taken aback by seeing the extent to which today our police are so militarized. They're like the standing army that the founding fathers have warned us about, and yet here they are. And these things are incremental, and they take place over a long period of time. But I think that it is these types of events along the way that provide the rationale for the state to increasingly encroach on our rights and our freedoms.
Can't argue with that. Remember the good old days in the 60s and 70s when talking about this stuff would be greeted with a round of applause, and it would be cool that you're questioning authority? Now you're a pariah for doing it. What happened?
That's a very good question. I think that the very term now, the term conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist, is used to denote a particular group, because that's how Americans, for the most part, think politically anymore. They have to identify with a group, and they have to pigeonhole various groups. There's an excellent book by the Professor Lance DeHaven Smith, Conspiracy Theory in America, that actually just came out earlier. It came out in 2013, excuse me. And there's a very good discussion about this, and how this is a set of terms that are used to really cordon off thought that calls into question the dynamics, the inner workings of our secret government.